An 18-year-old youth will appear before magistrates in Suffolk tomorrow, charged with the murder of Daphne Cole. Mrs. Cole, who was 83, was found strangled at her bungalow in Bury St Edmunds on January the 4th. The first young offenders have arrived at the Military Corrective Centre in Colchester, but probation officers have condemned the experiment in American-style boot camps.
12 young men will serve out their sentences at the Corrective Centre, being subjected to a military regime of routine, discipline, physical exercise and vocational training.
I have talked to the staff at the Military Corrective Training Centre, those ordinary military staff sergeants who are dealing with the service offenders every day. They are very enthusiastic about this experiment and they believe that they really can help these young people.
We lock up more young men and women than any other country in Western Europe. They're not going to get the rehabilitation, they're not going to get the care, they're not going to get the education, they're not going to get the outward bound trips. They're the ones who are going to come out, they're the ones who are going to reoffend again.
You lost your job.
Probation officers say the boot camp is an expensive option and the money could be better spent on helping more young offenders.
You may remember the story yesterday about some dogs mistreated by their owner. Jennifer Bosson from Essex was sent to prison for 4 months for cruelty after the RSPCA raided her kennels. 7 dogs were found dead, but 10 were rescued. They're all now fit and well, and tonight they've all been found in new homes. We're back in the morning at 6:25. The weather now from Suzanne Charlton. Good night.
Good evening. With a strong run of winds right across the Atlantic, it's hardly surprising that these weather fronts here are moving across the country at a fair old rate of knots. On the radar we can see a line of rain, quite heavy rain too, that's been affecting central and southern areas of Scotland and is now pushing southwards out of Northern Ireland. Now that will give some heavy rain for a time, and indeed it will continue to push southwards for a time tonight, giving some heavy rain in the early hours over parts of the hilly areas of northern England and North Wales. But then as it sweeps quickly down towards the southeast of the country, perhaps turning a little lighter and more patchy towards morning, leaving in its wake some showers too, mostly in the west. The majority of the showers in the northwest of Britain, where they will start to turn wintry overnight, not just over the high ground, but mainly over the hillier areas of Scotland. Now, the strongest winds tonight are going to be pushing in right through this part of the country here. So that's Northern Ireland, southern Scotland, northern England and North Wales, just seeing a burst of really strong winds for a time. They could be gusting up to around 60, maybe 65 miles per hour, leaving behind very blustery conditions across the whole country. Through tomorrow, this weather front here will start to return from the west. It'll be hanging around in the channel, so there could be quite a lot of cloud down here, the odd shower. But to start the day, central and eastern areas will be fairly bright. There'll be some bright or sunny spells of weather around. 1 or 2 showers dotted around the western coasts and hills. Many of those will give way in the afternoon, but only to cloudy weather, which late on will again give a few spots of rain. By evening, the wetter weather once more returning to the hills of western Scotland. By the end of tomorrow, getting very windy in the far north of Scotland. Winds in the south will ease though, and it'll feel mild, 11 Celsius, 52 degrees Fahrenheit. These weather fronts hesitating over the north on Saturday, pushing southwards with more following on for Sunday, and it will remain quite windy throughout the weekend. The southeastern parts of the country mainly dry on Saturday, the rain in the north and west sweeping south with showers and more rain following on. Bye-bye.
The many faces of Mrs. Merton, the proud mother,
Suck it to him, Malcolm!
the loyal friend,
Lily, she got the wrong hormones replaced on HRT, and now she's a brickie.
the perfect host,
You're famous for making Death Wish 2, Death Wish 3. Have you ever heard the expression flogging a dead horse?
Mrs. Merton welcomes you to the bosom of her family tomorrow 10:20 BBC1.
The ever-so-sensitive Gary's playing nursemaid and Dorothy's the lucky patient in half an hour here on BBC1. Before that, brand new for Thursday night's classroom comedy, and chaos is definitely top of the curriculum in Chalk.